Good morning, everybody. I wanted to do a video on those 5 hens that I slipped the youngsters under, and I parked the 5 of them on the race. But I got a pretty important question from David. David asked, what can he feed the birds to enhance ATP in the Cori cycle? I'm not so sure what could be fed. Creatine is one thing, but I think it's more the physical condition. And you know me with my stories. I'm going to go back to when I was 17 and in high school, and I wrestled. I went out for wrestling. I was a 1-year wrestler. Just went out for wrestling. And I soon discovered that I wasn't going to beat anybody on technique. I learned 2 moves, and I practiced them really hard. One was a basic roll and a sit out and switch. They were the 2 moves. My favorite was the roll, because off the roll was a pinning combination. But even that wasn't going to get me where I wanted to be. So here's how my day went. After school, we would run 2 miles around the track and then go into the wrestling room and practice and wrestle. But I realized that I wasn't in the best of physical shape, even running 2 miles. I was feeling tired when I wrestled. So I decided to miss the late bus. I lived 4 miles from that school, and I ran home. Well, let me tell you, the first day I ran home, I ran out 2 miles with no problem. Boy, but when I got to that 2-mile point, my side buckled. I was in pain. I couldn't run. I had to walk. And the way I approached it was to walk 2 telephone poles and then run as far as I can till the pain came back. And that turned out to be 1 telephone pole. And all the way home, it was walk 2 telephone poles and run 1. And this went on for quite a while. It took 2 weeks for me to be able to run home from school 4 miles. It was interesting because my brother would take the late bus oftentimes, my brother Thomas. He would get off the bus. I would come running down the street, and we would walk down the driveway together. I arrived home with the bus. The bus had to make the stops. I wasn't walking any more telephone poles. I was running all the way home. When I wrestled, I was 150 pounds. But I could beat all the guys that weighed 168. Well, let me tell you, the first few minutes, they threw me around like a rag doll. No problem at all. They just threw me around. But they soon tired. They got exhausted. They didn't have any more energy. They were exhausted. And I used to pin them. I could roll them over and pin them. It was nothing. It was the conditioning that allowed me to do that. I lifted weights. I did everything. I had a hard time keeping my weight down to 150. Didn't eat at all. But I could wrestle. I don't know if you can call it wrestling because I wasn't a very, very good wrestler. But I was one hell SOB on them mats. Something snapped when I walked on them mats. Now what's that got to do with racing pigeons? A lot. The Cori cycle is how your body is running, it's working. The blood cells are carrying oxygen. I was capable of it. I didn't get tired. I didn't. And I would wrestle at times in other schools at 168 to allow somebody that couldn't beat me to wrestle. Now, there was one guy on my team, Terry Ryan. Terry, if you're hearing this, I hate to disappoint you. I could have wrestled varsity 168. But my coach came over to me and said, Danny, don't go up. Terry's been wrestling for years. He's a good wrestler. And he was a good wrestler. I never beat Terry. And boy, I tried. I tried my best. He said, Danny, you're pushing Terry. Terry gets lazy. He doesn't want to work out, do the things he's supposed to do. He can go to the counties, possibly even the state. You're the only guy that pushes him. When I mean push, when I say push him, when Terry and I wrestled off to wrestle varsity, that whole gym, the wrestling room, stopped and watched us wrestle because it was going to be a fight. I never beat Terry. Terry was a good wrestler. But Terry got himself in shape. He told me at a 20-year reunion, if I would have turned around, I would have seen him running home behind me. So the Cori cycle, as far as the pigeons are concerned, is how well they can carry off that lactic acid to the liver, where it's converted back into energy. When you're in great physical condition, you can do it. And your pigeons can do it too. And that's where the hard training comes in. They gotta fly. They gotta be in great shape. They gotta be healthy. Everything has gotta be right. And that's where the energy comes from. You can give them creatine. Before I wrestled, I took sugar. Not sugar, honey. I used to take honey. My coach told me don't do that. The sugars, it makes too much insulin. But I took it anyway. I felt I was going to get energy from that honey. And it sure didn't hurt me on them mats. And when you wrestle, believe me, your mouth gets dry. You're putting out like never before. So the better physical condition you are in, or your pigeons are in, the better they can perform. Not only that, your pigeons learn. They're intelligent. When you take them out that 100 miles, or as Randall did, maybe 200 miles, they learn. They get familiar with the surroundings. And that's what's important about the Cori cycle. Get them in physical condition. Things happen within the body that allows the ATP to be utilized. It allows the lactic acid to get traveled down to the liver and back into the muscles. And the birds can keep flying. They don't go down. We raced them 3 birds. They didn't train. They didn't fly. They didn't clock. They came home late, but they came home. They had it in their head. They had it in their heart, but they didn't have it physically. You got to train them. You got to train them hard. And everything will come together. Your pigeons will be smarter. your pigeons will be stronger, and you'll be at the top of the race sheet. With that, I'd like to say one other thing. Wrestling, or any sport that you go out for as an individual, you carry it all your life. All your life, you carry it. Whether you succeed or you fail. Anything you do and you put a good effort into, you're going to have all your life pleasant memories. Good things come out of competition with the pigeons, with everything. So do it. Don't worry about whether you win or lose. Just do it and enjoy it. Now, you want to win? Train them hard. Give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs down. Leave a comment. I appreciate the comments. Thank you for watching.